Welcome to our YouTube channel, In Our Basement. My name is Niels.
And I'm Gail. We're going to be having conversations and share our thoughts about things that we're really passionate about.
And just before we get started, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
And if you like the content, then feel free to share it on your social media platform.
All right. Welcome to another episode of In Our Basement.
In our basement.
Okay, why was I laughing?
Here.
Why was I laughing? Because I was like, all right, let's go. And then I just burped. And now I hit record. But now you know, so you don't want to hear the burp. But anyways.
Well, we hit record, but I think we're going to cut that.
We'll cut it. Out. Yeah. But not this part. This is real. This is authentic. You're in our basement. We're here for another episode to do a couple segments. We're excited. Mm-hmm. I want to start off with some jokes. I got some jokes for you.
Okay, just ready yourself. I haven't heard these jokes, but
these are jokes about Mr. Potato Head. Okay. So, did you hear that Mr. Potato Head went to a basketball game last night?
No.
Yeah, he was a spectator. Okay.
Next.
When I was a kid, I actually had a Mr. Potato Head, but I always put him on the couch. I called it a couch potato. I already had her laughing because I think she knew the direction it was going in. And so those are some jokes about Mr. Potato Head. What is unfortunate is that depending on your opinion, the Mr. Potato Head has been canceled because of this thing that we find ourselves in today's world called cancel culture.
Mr. Potato Head is not canceled in this house, though.
Yeah.
We don't have a Mr. Potato Head.
No, we don't.
Though.
I mean, we still think he's cool.
Yeah.
So what is cancel culture? Well, let me just briefly summarize what it is. It essentially promotes the canceling of people, celebrities, public figures, and so on, because their beliefs are thought to be offensive or problematic.
Like Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah. So I'll say that one more time. It essentially promotes the canceling of people, such as celebrities and public figures and so on, because their beliefs are thought to be offensive or problematic. And so what happens is that like groups will, come together to essentially ruin the reputation and livelihood of someone who has views that they don't agree with. Mm-hmm. So I guess like on the surface, the intention of it might be good, but it's actually, we're seeing it's becoming very, very problematic. Mm-hmm. We live in a world where we have a difference of opinions on politics.
And right now, there's a lot of politics and a lot of disagreements.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. Religion is another one.
Yeah.
How you should raise your kids. Money. What's another thing people are disagreeing? They're disagreeing or agreeing on COVID.
Yeah.
The vaccine. Yeah. Racial tensions, right? So people have lots of differences of opinions and beliefs on these topics, right? So what's dangerous about it is that if someone doesn't agree with you, they cancel you. Yeah. They essentially,
or like something is pulled up from 10 years ago and you're canceled.
Right.
Yeah. Which is really unfortunate, because it's like, think back to yourself 10 years ago. Are you still that person?
Well, this is why, like, I would even fear running for politics, right? I mean, I don't have anything to hide, as far as I know, but like, what if somebody does find something that you did 10 years ago and suddenly it's like in the public eye, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Like, sorry to bring this up. Well, not really.
Well, maybe I do have something to hide. No, I'm kidding.
So Niels, his mother gave him Family Matters for Christmas.
Oh yeah, right.
And we just watched an episode.
Yeah,
where
today, yeah.
Laura was running for president. Class president?
Yeah, Laura was running for class president, yeah.
And she was putting up her poster saying, like, vote for Laura. And she fell off the ladder into Steve Urkel's arms. And it looked like they were going to be kissing. So the newspaper took pictures and they said, if you don't come out of the election in the next 24 hours, we're going to put this in the newspaper saying that you guys are together.
So she was essentially threatened and blackmailed by her rival.
Yeah. And so it's like bringing up things and twisting them is also something that happens in today's world.
I can't believe somebody would take something and twist it. The nerve.
Yeah, it's like, that's crazy. But anyways.
Right. And at the end of the episode, Laura did win because, Laura had some friends that were able to, do some things and
ruin the
clean some things up in the background. It's okay. She won. But we see here that canceling someone is like the modern day version of cutting someone off because they don't agree with you.
Yep.
And and it's like, and it's essentially stopped us, which is unfortunate. It stopped us from being able to have civil conversations and agreeing and disagreeing with one another. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I was I just watching some videos today, and there was this woman who was doing a talk, and she shared a testimony of her own self, and she shared that her and her dad had a really great relationship. Her dad always shared how proud he was of her and how loving. They had great memories her whole life. And as an adult, her dad said something that she highly disagreed with.
Wow.
And her dad, I guess, wouldn't come back off of that. And she was like, okay, well then I'm out. And she basically canceled her dad.
Just like that, eh?
And they didn't speak for 10 years.
Woo. That's a long time.
10 years because he said this one thing. And she canceled him. And then it was 10 years later that she finally said, okay, I'm going to give him a chance and just to be compassionate, knowing that we disagree on this subject. We have very different ideas on this subject, but I'm going to be compassionate and still love him. And they restored their relationship, father-daughter, and it was really good that she was able to step up and to do that, because it was only 2 or 3 years later that her dad passed on.
Oh, wow.
And
that's a powerful story.
Yeah, and that's something that just I think needs to be addressed with so many people, with friendships, with family, with friends, with coworkers. Is you may have conversations, you disagree on something. People may say things that you find offensive, but you need to be the bigger person and be compassionate and still love them, no matter that you disagree on this big issue or this big view. Because you don't, I think a relationship is worth so much more than just an idea or a view.
Yeah, I agree. We would just hope that the relationship and friendship means so much more than the idea or view.
And I think that's so prominent with family, and some friends are like family. And so, yeah. Yeah,
because and if you are in a conversation with someone and you find yourself not agreeing or putting the other person down, or maybe you're being put down, well, what does the Bible say about conflict? Is to go and deal with it one-on-one, and then if it's needed, maybe have a mediator, but hopefully it doesn't get to that. I think when we're in conversations with one another, I do think that respectfully, we need to rock the boat a little bit, here and there, because when someone doesn't agree with us or we don't agree with them, we can actually be challenging each other in a positive way, right? And spurring one another on.
It's okay to have conversations or debates, but it's okay. Here's the thing: is in today's day and age, especially because we're not able in so many cities and places in the world right now, Manitoba being one of them, you're not able to be face to face with people, and so there's too much that's happening via text, via social media.
Keyboard warriors, right? Yeah.
Yes. Right now I'm using my fingers like a keyboard.
Typing, yeah.
And so, and with those words, things can be taken differently than they're put out. And so it's important to have those conversations face to face so that you can see facial expressions, tone of voice, body language, and not to be saying these things like your views or your ideas in a like attacking way, but in a like, so this is what I believe. Like I'd really love to hear what you believe on this and why, and have coming at it in not an attack way.
Yeah. Well, and it's, yeah. And it is just sad too, because it's like for some of my friends who are like in the States, like their families have been ripped apart over the polarization of like the election, where they've tried to even have like civil conversations, but you know, you had one family member or a family voting for Trump, and you had some voting for Biden, and like and it's like when they knew which was voting for who, they couldn't even be in the same room after that. For whatever reasons, you know, just without going into the details of the politics, but
which is heartbreaking. Yeah,
that just goes to show it's like, really, you're gonna let like something as serious, you know, it's important to go and vote in an election, but you're gonna let something
100%.
like a presidential candidate, two presidential candidates come in the way and just rip your family apart because of your difference of opinion and views. That's heartbreaking to hear.
Yeah.
Cancel culture, as we've just alluded to, and as you've shared and I've shared, it's obviously affecting relationships. And so I just want to ask, and I've got some points here, but I just want to ask, like, do you think it's possible for us to build on relationships instead of just canceling someone?
Can we build on relationships rather than canceling? 100%. I think it just takes humility to be able to say, to stay away from the I'm better than you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And so humble yourself and like just see the importance of the person, the value of the person, and just have compassion and love.
Exactly. And in compassion, love, humility, encouraging conversation with others who have different opinions. Because what do you think? Like, I think it wouldn't really be good for us if we were in the same room with people who thought the same as us, right? Like,
yeah, it's like
to a certain extent, right? But
when you have relationships with people who disagree with you, it challenges you and causes you to think.
Yeah.
And so it's which is I think so good for you to be able to have those healthy conversations, to make yourself think and to remind yourself why you believe a concept or concept or an idea or view.
Yeah, exactly. Because even like with us, like we're Christians in our faith, you know, but even at the same time, for me, I am open to hearing from others, like in their religion and such. And if I'm even wanting to share my views on Christ, and even when I go to share the gospel, I'm going to then leave it up to them to decide what they want to do with it. But it's not my job to force it upon them, you know, because I think that's even how Christians can develop a bad rep with doing things like that.
Oh, 100%.
Right. And then, because I wouldn't want the same to be done on me, you know, for someone to come and force me into believing this. But I want to be able to just present and say, here's what I think the Bible says about this, or here's maybe my stance on politics, and here's why I would vote for this person and not this person. Yeah,
it's like, here's what I feel this way. I'd love to hear what you feel and why you want to do it this way.
Here's why I think that there is systemic racism in this area, or it's just racism, or, you know, things like that, right? So it's just amazing how if we just took the time just to listen to one another, we can just actually have productive conversations, as opposed to like that person disagree with you, cut off, canceled, block their number, *69, *67. What was it? I don't know. Well, now we just like delete.
Was it redial?
Whatever it was, where you go and you block the phone number back in the day on the.
Oh, I think redial was *69.
Right, but you know, now maybe. It's like now it's just unfollow, delete. Cancel culture, I think it's always existed. It just looks different. It just has a platform. Yeah. The platform is just there, and it's more prominent because of social media and hashtags and followers and such. I
just have to cancel something, which is one of my hairs
got
stuck on your beard.
What was one of your hairs doing on my beard?
Well, you know, I love you, and Oh, it's still there.
It's still there. Okay.
Okay, I got it. Well, it's like, yeah, things, you know.
Next. No, I'm just kidding. Go. It's okay. So with cancel culture, yeah. See, I'm blushing right now.
Aww. Well,
I was just trying to be goofy and romantic, and then it happened, and I don't. Do I blush or do I just?
Not like me.
Not like you. Yeah, you like turn red. I just maybe.
Yeah.
Get darker.
But
yeah.
You're not canceled.
No, thank you. Yeah, just because I had your hair on me.
Yeah.
Or my hair.
No, because you blushed.
Oh, because I blushed. Oh, thank you. Yeah. With cancel culture, yeah, if we don't fall into that trap, what we'll find ourselves doing is then learning off of one another, asking questions out of curiosity, because there's always like that inner kid in us that's like, why, and we've got like a kid growing inside of you, and us, right?
Who has the hiccups right now?
The kid has the hiccups, so it's moving a little. Oh, that's cute, right? But it's like, you know, when a little kid comes to you and says, "Why?" or "Why did you do that?" They're not necessarily talking back to you. Maybe like they literally want to know.
Yeah.
Why you told them they can't play with that toy, or why they got to go to bed.
Yeah.
There may be times in which they want to be a pest, but at the same time, that's like their curiosity, and I think their desire to learn and just be so curious at a young age. And now it's like anytime somebody challenges you and asks you why, they're like, no, don't ask that. Just do as you're told, or you're canceled, right?
And sorry, I don't know why that reminded me, but another great thing about having those healthy conversations is accountability.
Okay, can you elaborate on that?
So, like, it's, okay, you believe this. Why do you believe that? And so it's like keeping you accountable. Okay, like for us, you know, we're Christians, and it's like, okay, we've been Christians since we were little kids.
Right.
We grew up in the church. And so for a lot of people, they just go to church. And so for us, having somebody come to us and say, why are you a Christian? Why do you believe that? It's
I'm
making
a Christian because I go to... Sorry, keep going.
It's making us accountable to make sure that we know why we are a Christian, why we believe this.
I had a sarcastic comment in rebuttal and in agreement with you. Not in rebuttal, in agreement. It was, it's like somebody asks me, why are you a Christian? And I say, because I go to church. And then you could say, well, just because you go to the zoo, does it make you a monkey? Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Right. No, like we're Christians because we have a relationship with Jesus Christ. Right.
Yeah. And that's another big thing is like when somebody has a disagreement in views, then it's like we can tell them, this is why I believe this. This is why I feel this way towards it. And for us, it's like, yeah, we believe in God. You know, we have relationship with Jesus Christ, with God the Father, and we've experienced things showing that He is true, that He is our God. And so that's Did you have a verse you were gonna? Oh yeah, Galatians 1 verse 10. Obviously, I'm not trying to win the approval of people, but of God. If pleasing people were my goal, I would not be Christ's servant. So I'm going to read that again. Obviously, I'm not trying to win the approval of people, but of God. If pleasing people were my goal, I would not be Christ's servant. And so that just kind of talks more about like why cancel culture. It's like, I'm not trying to win the approval of people. I'm just telling you, this is what I believe. This is why I believe it. It's sharing. And in the passage, it talks about sharing the good news. Sharing news, not like staying away from that twisted news that is so much in today's media.
Right.
So, yeah.
And I think it's just important to continue to stay curious to think critically as well, because then it allows us to collaborate and work well with others. I think it's our differences and our uniqueness in the way in which God has created that really allows us to work well and collaborate together. It's actually like amazing what it looks like when you put that unity together in one room. It becomes really powerful. I will say, though, with cancel culture, there is one thing that I'm afraid if I say it too much, I might get canceled. And that is...
Thanks for joining us today in our basement.
Yeah, and before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and share this content in your social media platforms. And we hope to see you next time in our basement.